London is the third most populated city in Europe overall, but easily the most populous city in the European Union. For now. With almost 8 million inhabitants spread out over an area the size of Dublin, Madrid, and Berlin combined, it's also among the oldest cities in the EU. Which is funny because it's been set on fire so many times that its architecture is among the newest in Europe. Best of both worlds. Londoners get around by either taking one of these super comfortable black cabs, the sprawling London Underground subway line, or just by walking. Swimming. The Tube was the first underground railway line ever constructed, and it still gets Londoners all across town quickly and effectively. The trains themselves are on the small side, but I find them very cozy, and if it's good enough for the God of Thunder, it's good enough for me. Above ground, the city is surprisingly easy to navigate, even given the lack of a grid. Victorian London's penchant for commemorating anything and everything with a monument makes the geography memorable and clear. The city was historically built up along the northern bank of the Thames and expanded outwards from there with the introduction of the subway and cars. Probably the first thing I noticed about London is that it's filled with parks. Green Park, Hyde Park, Regent's Park, and enough smaller green spaces to make London's public parks alone bigger than every other city in the EU, and I love every single one of them. 8 out of 10. The layout of the city is pretty cool, but I can't shake the feeling that it was all built on the systematic exploitations of colonialism. London had a bad habit of burning down all the time, so the current city is largely from the 1700s onward. The upside of that is the entire city was built with empire money, so this train station is a castle and that department store is an Egyptian tomb. Don't ask me how or why, but I dig it. My award for the coolest skyscraper on planet Earth goes to the Shard because it looks like someone ripped it straight out of a sci-fi dystopia, and I respect that kind of commitment to an architectural fever dream. I went partway up the tower to get drinks at one of several high-rise bars and have literally never felt like more of a supervillain in my entire life. But my favorite building by the sheer damn factor has to be St. Paul's Cathedral. This church brings it home with a mondo neoclassical dome and an increasingly ornate design philosophy as the royals kept looking up during church and found corners of the altar ceiling that weren't covered in enough gold yet. 9 out of 10. I wish that every city was this consistently bonkers with its architectural mood swings. When I went to London in the middle of February, I had the good fortune to catch a straight week of mid-60s weather and consistent sun. I later found out that it made it right in between 2 weeks, literally overflowing with thunderstorms. Some Londoners tell me that the rain is actually an overblown thing, but that sounds like a ruse to lull me into a false sense of security. 1 out of 10. I'm worried that if I go back, my weather karma will cash out by striking me with lightning. Oh, eat it! One pleasant product of London's history as an international empire is some seriously enviable cultural diversity. While a traditional British diet consists mainly of fried fish and alcoholism, I was able to find incredible restaurants from every cuisine I could ask for. I had fantastic Indian curry, tonkatsu ramen, authentic pasta, and probably 4 gallons of Earl Grey tea over the course of 5 days. 8 out of 10. The food is so expensive I ran out of money and literally starved to death for the second half of my visit, but I'm still gonna say worth it. While it may seem on the surface that Londoners are mostly cold and antisocial, I learned very quickly that the way to any Brit's heart is through dark comedy or a pint of beer, ideally both. I got by well enough on my usual American polite, but when my London friend told me to tap into the existential dread that underpins humanity's collective anxiety by cracking snarky and self-deprecating jokes, everyone became my best friend. 7 out of 10. Londoners are great when they open up and all laugh at the abyss together, but their coziness with primordial fear makes me worry there's a Lovecraftian elder god just chilling somewhere underneath the tube line, so I'm glad I visited before Brexit releases the Eldegorth the Devourer upon the UK. Overall, I give the City of London a score of exciting. Nothing the city does is half-assed, and I love it. Give it a visit if you like architecture, parks, and imperialism. Be sure to avoid it if you're water-soluble.